New Year's resolutions. How do you react to that? Are you immediately like, ugh, here we go again? Is it negative for you, honestly? This episode is for you. I'm going to walk you through a different approach and some mindset tricks, as well as actually walking you through some tools you can use to tackle the new year and the things you want to accomplish differently, with less overwhelm, and honestly, better results. Welcome to Needy and Normal. I'm your host, Ashley Levering, mom, wife, and life coach. After years of coaching and learning from my own life, one thing is clear: meeting your needs is essential for a better life. Here, we'll talk about your needs and not only learn to accept them, but also tend to them without guilt. Let's get needy, because it's normal. So the first thing I want you to consider is, if it's going to be a new year and there's going to be something new for you to focus on, let it be this. Let it be a new mindset. Let it be a new approach. Because typical approaches on the New Year resolutions and the New Year goals and the starting fresh and the starting over, typical goal setting, things that you see in the news and in society as well, and just, what we think is what we're supposed to do. These kind of pressures come on to us in all parts of our lives. But the things we're supposed to do, I'm supposed to pick some goals and I'm supposed to achieve them. And if I don't, then, I'll just try again next year, right? And there really is this giant swing of let's achieve it all or else, this all or nothing approach, which I've definitely addressed in other episodes. This applies, right? I do not believe that New Year's resolutions have to be an all or nothing. I don't think they have to be done exactly the same every single year. And I do not believe they actually need to be called New Year's resolutions. So if you are feeling open-minded and you need a new approach to your own new beginnings in this 2025, or you know what, if you listen to this in 3 years from now, I hope this is helpful. You don't have to do things the exact same way you've always done it, especially if you've set your hopes high, you've set your goals high, you set your expectations of yourselves very high, to a point of if I don't, then I will mindsets, right? Where if I don't achieve, then I fail. So what I'm offering you today is a new way to speak to yourself and a new way to set yourself up for, honestly, for success in the new year, in choosing the endeavors you want to embark on, the goals you would like to accomplish. So the first thing I want you to consider is, instead of calling this a New Year's resolution, or if there's multiples, that's fine, New Year's resolutions, instead of calling them that, start with trying to call them something different. Like a promise to practice. So try that out in your mind. Instead of New Year's resolutions, promises to practice. So things that you promise to yourself that you're going to seek and work towards and practice rather than achieve. And I'm not saying don't achieve it. Don't create this end goal for yourself where if I do this, this, and this, then I'll achieve this thing and I'll feel great about it. Great, we want those outcomes. I'm not saying don't head for those. But when we call it a promise to practice, it's a little different than a all or nothing approach, right? With the if I don't achieve this goal, then I fail. We don't want to head into the things we want to do feeling like we could fail. Ugh! If you think about how negative that can be on our psyche, on our nervous system, on our ability to actually put in the effort and put in the work, call it a practice towards the promise you made yourself. If you want to take notes on this one, might help you later when you're really putting all this together, because first we want to dream, right? We want to think about the things that really matter to us, and please stay in line with things that really matter to you, because that's how we enjoy the ride. If you are heading towards an outcome, a goal of something you really truly are not really that interested in, you're just doing it because you think you have to or you have outside pressures, your buy-in is not going to be friendly to you. And it's going to feel like I have to achieve it or I'll fail and I don't even love what I'm doing. Ugh, don't love that either. So keep that in mind. A promise to practice rather than a New Year's resolution. Typically what happens is we set those lofty goals, right? Especially the things we didn't complete the year before. We get to the new year and we think, okay, let's start again. Let's start fresh. Let's reset. Let's pick ourselves back up from the goals that we didn't achieve and try again. That's okay. Try again. Absolutely try again. Or as I like to say, keep trying, continuing to move forward. Not everything is a start over and start fresh. It's like you've heard, it's starting from experience. It's starting with some kind of momentum in order to continue. Here's another mindset tool is you can say the words, I'm going to continue practicing this promise to myself rather than I'm going to start over with the New Year's resolution that I failed at last year. You hear the difference? So when you aim for this really high goal with that all or nothing attitude, like I said, and failing even slightly, you feel set back. And that is usually the time where people stop, where people really do fail. It's more about failing yourself than it is at failing the thing you wanted to achieve. If you stop and you're not continuing forward and you don't pick yourself back up and use your setback as a learning experience, making use of your setback, then yeah, you are failing. In order to truly achieve a goal and feel and find success, you must lean into the practice and the process. It's what you go through and what you do and the effort you put forth and the things you want to accomplish that really matter, because that's what actually gets you to the outcome you desire. Think about it. If you take small wins and small lessons each day towards the goals and towards the plans for your year, you're much more likely to actually stay with it. So when you think of this all or nothing stuff, we think I have to do this grand, huge thing. I have to achieve this big part of this goal in order for me to make it there. Yes, and you can take it in bite-sized pieces, right? You can make yourself plans in order to learn from your lessons daily, weekly, monthly, and collect all the wins along the way to give you, honestly, that momentum and that fuel. Okay, I can do this. Let's keep going. We get really caught up on if I don't do it exactly right, or if I don't do it enough, or if I don't hit that exact deadline, then I got to start over, or I failed and I'm going to stop and let my setback overcome me. That's where the true failure comes in, like I said. So another way to look at things, right? Because this episode is all about a new approach and trying to see your goals and the things you want to achieve differently, is decide. It's a choice. Decide to not stop. Whatever that thing is that you've already started, or that thing is that you've been thinking about forever and ever, just decide to not stop. So instead of thinking in terms of, I need to start that thing, I need to restart that thing, think, I'm going to continue moving forward, and my goal, my promise to myself, my promise to practice will be not stopping, whatever that is. And I'm sure you already have lots of things floating around in your mind right now, just listening to me talk about, what is really the thing or the things that I would like to focus on that I can keep going with. Sometimes we do need a do-over. Sometimes we do need to start something for the very first time. I get that. But if you are still leaving something in 2024 that you'd really like to take with you into 2025, then call it the not stopping plan in order to move forward. If you think too much about brand new or starting over, the pressures can absolutely build. You can still be productive without an overwhelm of that pressure. And sometimes that pressure that we put on ourselves can really be the setback. It can be the thing that holds us back because it can be overwhelming. It can be too much. It can make us feel like I can't do this. But you can just keep moving forward little by little. And if you need a new mantra rather than start over or start fresh, then try using a self-motivator like don't stop and keep trying. Okay, whatever it is Even if it's a small setback or a large setback, you can always say to yourself, just don't stop. Keep trying. And it doesn't have to be a big lofty goal that needs that kind of self-motivation, right? Now, if there is something you want to try new or start something new for the very first time, allow it to come from past experiences as far as learning how you motivate yourself, how you get yourself up and moving, how you make plans and execute those plans. So whatever the thing is that's new, you're never starting from scratch as far as how, right? Because you're so capable. You've achieved so many things. You know yourself, right? And if you need a moment to really just get to know yourself again, try, and there's an episode about this, I promise, but try going back to what makes me tick, what am I passionate about, what really matters to me, and how have I gotten through things in the past when I've hit an obstacle? How have I motivated myself when something was really important to me before? Make use of what you know. So yeah, you can start something new. You can certainly do that, but you are not new, right? You're not new at being a person. There's plenty that you have from your past that can come with you into every piece of life's adventures, right? The ones you choose and the ones you don't. You come equipped with knowledge of yourself and the ability to bring yourself forward, even into the unknown. I know it's scary. The unknown is the unknown, but you are so capable. So don't forget that as you are starting something new or continuing something from last year. Either way, you have to be able to trust yourself because you get that privilege. It's already built in. You're a capable human being. So bring that in to 2025 with you, okay? And I said it before, but I want to just make sure I reiterate the setbacks, right? If you're facing a challenge or an obstacle or what feels like a full block in the road, in your way of getting to that outcome, of that thing you really want to do, then again, look at it as a lesson to learn instead of thinking, well, shit, I'm done. I can't go any farther. This is it. This is the end of the road. I failed again. I'll try again next year. Instead of going into that negative, dark place and thinking you can't, look at your setbacks as a lesson to be learned and an opportunity to plan differently. When we want to put ourselves into action and actually make something happen, typically it starts with a plan. What are you going to do? How are you going to get there? And when we have a setback, people look at me funny when I say, oh, you have a challenge in your way. Great, let's look at it as an opportunity. They think, an opportunity? That sounds positive. I'm in a negative place. I'm in a setback place. Well, there is an opportunity. Always. There's an opportunity to look at things differently. There's an opportunity to make a new plan. And there's an opportunity always to learn. Learn from the experience, whether it went terribly wrong or incredibly well. Either way, you get to learn from all of your experiences. While you're collecting, hopefully, a different approach in your own mind about how you're going to tackle the things you want to do this year, the promises you will practice, you will put effort towards, things that matter to you, right? Here is a tool you can use as you're moving forward. I call this promise setting. So we've heard of goal setting, right? And we do this in work. We do this with our personal lives. We call it goal setting, and then we draw our lines on the page and we number them, right? So instead of calling it goal setting, try calling it promise setting. And this is how it goes. So you can type it or you can write it yourself. And it's 3 steps. So the first line is, I promise myself I will. A good example, I promise myself I will eat healthier this year. The next line, I will practice achieving or fulfilling this promise to myself by ... Continuing with the example of, I promise myself I will eat healthier this year. I will practice fulfilling this promise to myself by making myself a meal plan. And the third step is, when I fulfill this promise to myself, I will feel. So we'll continue. When I fulfill this promise to myself to eat healthier, I will feel proud. I will feel healthy. And you get to attach yourself to the positive good feelings of what achieving this promise to yourself will actually do for you. It's different when you truly have specific goals at work that are assigned to you, and that's very specific and very detailed and must be done. I get that. There's a lot of pressure there, but you can still find a way to approach it with the practice mindset. I will practice this promise to myself so I can achieve this goal. Right? So the point being, the more pressure you put on yourself, sometimes the harder it is to actually achieve the thing you want to do. So looking at it as a promise instead of a goal might lighten how you speak to yourself and how you handle yourself through it. The kinder you are to yourself, the more likely you are to not only achieve it, but be happy when you do. So often we strive and struggle through the process of achieving some kind of lofty goal, and that when we get there, we're just glad it's done. We're just glad it's over. We don't think about the actual achievement because it's felt like running a race you didn't want to race. You just wanted to get through it. How often does that happen? Think about that. How often do you think, I got to do this thing, and instead of thinking I'll be proud of myself at the end of it, you think I'll just be grateful it's over? Is that how you want your goals to be? So try actively aiming towards how it can feel in a good way, regardless of the fact that it's a goal you set for yourself or some goal has been set for you in the office. Either way, it's your choice how you treat yourself during the process. Does that make sense? And don't forget to be kind to yourself. I know I've already said it. I always do. But you can be encouraged. You can be self-motivated and energized to do something, especially if it truly aligns with you. You know, if you hit roadblocks when you're doing something you're just not about, it's harder to motivate. Let's bring this back to things that you want to do in your own personal life, your own personal achievements, professional or otherwise. Consider how much it matters to you, how important it is to you, how much it aligns with your values, and the things that actually make you feel like you're in your body and you're in your mind. You know, like, I feel like myself when I'm doing it. If you are able to say, as I'm achieving this thing, this promise I'm going to practice, I feel comfortable in the process because it feels like me. It feels like mine. Have some ownership. If it doesn't feel aligned with you and it doesn't feel right, it's going to feel awful. So find some ownership in the promises that you put out there for yourself, right? Now, support is essential. It just is. We are not meant to do everything alone. Some things, yes. But if you're trying to accomplish something that really matters to you, definitely don't feel like you're on an island alone. You can find that one person or that one group to help cheer you on. We all need it. We all deserve it. And if that person is me, a coach, I am definitely all about it. This is what I do. I will help you move through this. I will help you stay accountable to yourself. That is honestly the job of a coach, is to help you achieve the things you want to achieve. And in my case, it's to help you feel good about the things that you are doing and tending to your needs at the same time, because when you're going through changes, when you're trying to achieve something, when you're really pushing yourself, one of the best things you can do is take care of yourself. Even if your goal is to eat better, you still have to think of your mind. You still have to think of taking those breaks so you can have the balance. Whenever you're facing something new or challenging, taking care of your needs and prioritizing them is absolutely essential. I would love to prove that to you. Just saying. So whether it's me, a coach, a friend, a colleague, a coworker, a family member, somebody who has your back, you don't have to face anything alone. Let me know how the promise setting works for you. It has worked very well for clients of mine, and I use it myself. I really appreciate you being here. What it tells me is that you're ready to show up for yourself. You're ready to put in the effort and the work. And if you need a go button, here it is. Doesn't matter that it's not January 1st. You don't have to stop. Remember, you can make that your focus for the next year here is just to not stop. Whatever it is you were in momentum going towards already, just don't stop. Keep going, keep trying. The worst thing you can do, the only thing you can do to fail yourself truly is to stop trying. So be proud of yourself for being here today, for wanting to focus on setting yourself up for success in the new year and wanting to adopt new mindset tools and mindset strategies and different ways to talk to yourself. So let's do a quick recap and I'll send you on your way. Try calling it a promise to practice instead of a New Year's resolution. Decide, yes, it's a choice, to not stop if there's something you started in the last year or two or 10 years ago. Just decide you're going to keep going. You're going to keep trying. Make 2025 or your new year the time where you're not going to stop. It's the not stopping year. When you want to try something new or start something new, remember you are not without experience. You know yourself. Listen to your intuition, but also remember to be kind to yourself and remember how many lessons and experiences you've already collected in your life to propel yourself forward. Look at setbacks as opportunities to learn and replan, reset, get back on track. Setbacks don't have to stop you. And try calling it promise setting instead of goal setting. I'll run through that quickly. I promise myself I will. I will practice achieving or fulfilling this promise to myself by. When I fulfill this promise to myself, I will feel. You get to fill in the blanks. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and don't feel like you have to do it alone. Your needs matter because you matter. Thanks for being here. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Needy and Normal podcast. It means the world for me to have you here each week. Before you go, please leave me a rating and a review. It helps the podcast. I'd really appreciate it so more people can be a part of our community of understanding that your needs matter and it's normal to have those needs. If you're curious about coaching, check out ablifecoaching.com. I'd love to meet you. I do free initial coaching sessions to discover how I can be of service to you. And coming January 2025, I will be doing my one of two. I only offer 2 live coaching programs per year, and they are specifically designed to help you move through a transition with more confidence and more grace while taking care of your needs. It is for anyone who's facing something new, and in the new year, come on, that's all of us. So check that out. If you'd like to get on the email list so you don't miss any information, go ahead and send me an email, ashley@ablifecoaching.com, or you can find me on Instagram at ablifecoaching. You can always click that contact us button on my website at ablifecoaching.com. I wish you well. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon.